Welcome to your next session in the self-love practice. Now that we're on the same page about what self-love is, we'll talk today about some common misconceptions and roadblocks around the self-love practice. In this exercise, I'll be reviewing those with you and making sure that you have time to address and validate any misconceptions or internal blocks you have around this practice. Let's get started by taking a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Awesome. Let's do that one more time. Great. You might even notice that you're already having some thoughts or feelings like nervousness or reasons you shouldn't practice self-love. So let's acknowledge those and dive on in. Let's begin with selfishness. If you think self-love is a path to being spoiled or obsessed with yourself, you're not alone. But the reality is that, well, yes, this is a practice that requires us to look at and care for ourselves. The benefits of this practice go far beyond ourselves. They affect the people we care about and the people we work with. It's just like the oxygen mask in an airplane. When you care for yourself first, you can care for others. And practicing self-love is not the same as being entitled. Self-love is about recognizing your worth. Entitlement is about believing you are owed something, and it often comes with a sense of being better than others. Self-love will help you recognize your unique value, but not in a way that makes you better than anybody else. Now, it's also common, especially for high achievers, to feel like taking time to practice self-love is the same as making an excuse about why they can't get other things done. So let's be really clear. Self-love does ask you to state your boundaries, to take mental health days, to practice self-care, but it's not an exploitation of all things good. In fact, true self-love requires you to recognize where you need to grow, to take responsibility for your actions, and to embark on a new path with courage. Now, there are a few obstacles that come up around self-love that might make it more difficult to practice. Before we get into those, take a moment to have a few breaths and see if any thoughts or feelings are coming up around your own misconceptions or obstacles to practicing self-love. And without judgment, just keep those in mind and take another breath or two. You are doing great. Let's dive into some common obstacles to the self-love practice. As you know, self-love is great for everyone, but there are some circumstances that will make accessing and practicing self-love extremely difficult. You might have heard of something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, a long time ago, there was this guy who did a study, and he understood in depth our hierarchy of needs. He stated that to reach self-actualization, we first need esteem. To reach esteem, we first need a sense of love and belonging. To have a sense of love and belonging, we first need to feel safe. And to feel safe, we must first have our physiological needs met. That means that if you're having a hard time getting food on the table, or if you're in a situation where your safety is genuinely threatened, it's completely justified if you need to take a pause from this practice to focus on more foundational needs. You might also be in a situation where your attention or care is urgently needed by someone else, perhaps a sick loved one or a newborn baby. Remember that this is a journey and life happens, things come up. You can always pause and come back to the practice. Remember, this isn't a mountain to conquer. It's a journey you go on step by step, taking water breaks, snack breaks as needed. Just make sure that you're not putting it off too often or making up excuses as to why you can't practice self-love. Take a moment now to recognize if there are any obstacles that are coming up for you. Now, as you listen to this audio, I know you had some of your own judgments, misconceptions, or roadblocks come to mind. In the journaling space below, please take all the time you need to write those down. And then feel free to write down anything that you think will help your self-love journey. Perhaps a friend, a time once a week to reflect, or whatever comes to mind and feels supportive to you in this moment. In the next exercise, we'll talk about self-awareness and how you can use it to help yourself in your self-love journey. That's it for today. We'll take a few closing breaths. Inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. Go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And let my voice guide you for the last minute of our practice. As you listen to what I say, you can repeat it silently to yourself or out loud. Another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Repeating after me if you choose. I deserve to love myself. I deserve to be cared for. My needs matter. Taking care of myself does not make me spoiled or obsessed with myself. Giving myself love means I'm being responsible. Practicing self-love does not make me entitled. I practice self-love because I know I'm worth it. Practicing self-love is not an excuse to avoid doing work. I practice self-love because I like to recognize where I can grow and take responsibility for myself. I deserve love. I deserve to be cared for. I recognize my value. I choose growth and courage. I am safe and I am loved. Take another big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Notice the space around you, any sensations in your body. And when you're ready, softly and slowly open your eyes. Congratulations on getting here. Make sure you use the journaling space below to make any notes of things that came up in today's practice. I'll see you tomorrow.